And we begin with breaking news. You are looking live right now at the wildfire west of Firth. This is the Lavaside Fire. The Lavaside Fire, about 4 miles west of Firth right now at the 5 o'clock hour. We are here in the Firth River bottoms. I'm Todd Kuntz, live here with my photographer Dave Barrington, and we've been here for the last hour. And one thing that we have really noticed, the smoke has been thick when we first got here, and it lets up at times. The wind is really changing directions. We will check in with Michael Coates and your forecast coming up. But this is the big story today. We want to talk about this fire and what's going on right now, and I'll bring in with me Sheriff Craig Rowland from the Bingham County Sheriff's Office, and we'll just get all the details right from the source here. Sheriff, glad to have you here. We are on River Bottoms Road. We can't go past here because of safety reasons. Again, we're west of Firth off of Highway 91. Now, you tell me you have had some evacuations.
Yes, 700 north, we asked the people to leave because the fire was coming up close at 550 east, which is off 700. And now we have River Road closed, but it's just to get the emergency vehicles in and out and keep all the looky-loos out of the way so we can get the fire trucks where they need to be.
Okay, so 700 north is just to the far side of this field. Dave, as you look across this stubble field where the pivot line is, on the other side to the south there, in fact, you can see the helicopter just like a water dump over to that side of the fire. That is 700 north. So on the west side, the sheriff says they blocked it off at River Road, and on the east side, they blocked it off at 550 east. Now, you can't force people to leave, but you've given them notice. Where are these people going?
If they want to go to the middle school, the A.J. Johnson Middle School here in Firth, they can go there. They go to other friends' house, a family's house, or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of people worried about their animals, their houses. They want to get back down 700, but for the safety of the people, we can't let them go down there. We got firefighters down there working on a house that started on fire. The roof started on fire, so they're working on that to try to get that out immediately. We just can't have any traffic down that road.
So you have had one house catch fire?
We have. I heard on the fire radio that the roof was on fire.
People at that house not home at the time, you know about the occupants at all, or the owners?
I don't believe that anybody's in the house. The firefighters were saying that that was empty, so they were just working on trying to get the roof fire out.
Okay. Let's talk about, you talked about the personnel, the firefighters. We've got people from Rexburg on the north, from Chubbuck Fire Department on the south. Jurisdiction is Bureau of Land Management, correct?
That's correct. It's all federal ground. The river's all federal ground, so it's a BLM and Forest Service that are managing the scene.
The wind's really picked up just now, and that's what we're seeing. We've watched for the last hour with you that it dies down and you don't see a whole lot of smoke, and then all of a sudden you see a big, like right now, the big darker plume of smoke. This is getting into juniper, cottonwood. Is it on both sides of the river?
It is on both sides of the river.
Okay, both sides of the river, between River Road and 550 east, it is blocked off on 700 north. Again, we're just down from Firth on the River Bottoms Road right now, and we've seen a plane fly over, the BLM plane, probably to get a good assessment from the air, but there's also that helicopter doing the water dumps.
Yeah, the airplane is talking to the ground troops, telling them this is the hot spot or this is where you need to work. Then he's obviously talking to the helicopter pilot that's over there.
Dave, can you see that helicopter taking off right now? It went behind the cottonwoods, but it's pulling out of the river. River's really close by, and dumping on this fire. They mentioned back in the control room, and you mentioned too, animals. Some people have taken animals, from what we understand, to our old friend Carol Honus's house. They had some mini horses that they took over there, saved some horses. The people that brought them in were not allowed to get some of their other animals out, and you said some people are worried about their animals. What should they do?
Oh, rightfully so. I have dogs at home, and if I knew the fire was getting close, I'd want to get in there and get my animals out. But for the safety of the people, we just can't let anybody back in. Once they're evacuated out, we can't let them back in.
We haven't talked about how big this fire was, or is. This morning it was right around 200 acres, according to the BLM. There's an update just a while ago.
Yeah, it's now over 500 acres of burned ground.
So it is growing, but like I said earlier, this wind, since we've been here, Notice that right now. There's hardly any wind. Then it picks up, and it's changing direction. That's a problem for the firefighters.
Yeah, it is, because when we first got here, the smoke was blowing on us, and the cinders and all that was getting on your clothes and everything else, and now the wind's obviously shifted completely away from us.
Okay. Thanks, Sheriff, for all that information. That is a lot of information. That's the latest right now of the Lavaside Fire here west of Firth. Again, we're on River Bottoms Road, just off of the old Highway 91. As the sheriff said, the fire's burning on both sides of the river, and they're doing some water dumps with a helicopter. That's the latest. Michael, talk about these winds. When will they let up, or will they let up tonight?
Okay, so Todd, they're gonna let up a little bit tonight, but the big change today, the reason why it looks like that this fire really just exploded in acreage and jumped the river, it's because yesterday and the day before we had strong winds out of the north. And today, with this cold front out of Montana, as expected, the winds have shifted direction out of the southwest, and we've picked up on some stronger wind gusts out of the southwest this afternoon as this cold front nears out of the north. And so we are getting a change in the wind direction today, and that might have led to the reason why we've seen the acreage explode on that fire. And again, jumping the Snake River, that's new information that we just heard. We can now barely see, well, we really can't see good definition of that smoke plume because now the smoke is just being blown in our direction. So it's just a hazy outlook right now for Idaho Falls and much of the upper valley tonight as that fire continues to burn there just outside of Firth. And this is a live look from our station tower cam. There's the Budweiser and Modelo plants there, and then you're looking further south towards Shelley and Firth. So that's where we're pointing the camera right now. So what we have right now is those gusty winds out of the southwest continuing to pummel the firefighters out there. And here's a look at Viper radar as I lapse it for you. This is where the fire is centered, right where Lavaside and River Road meet. And then it's been burning again, jumping the river, we heard just there from the sheriff. And there's the smoke plume. We can actually see it on radar. It's not rain, that's smoke being detected by the dual polarization of the radar. And that smoke plume, of course, blowing over Firth right now up towards Basalt and then further north into Shelley and Idaho Falls. So again, if you can avoid the area, that would help out the firefighting situation. If you're traveling this area, I would stick to the interstate, try to stay off Highway 91 and all the roads there surrounding the area. Here's a look at the wind speeds at some of the weather stations nearby. I really don't have a good weather station at Firth, so I'm pulling from Blackfoot, Idaho Falls. There's a weather station out towards Atomic City and then Fort Hall. These are the sustained wind speeds. Last check at about 24 miles an hour, Fort Hall, 17 in Blackfoot. And that weather station is in town for Blackfoot, so it's not outside of town, it's in town, so it gets a little protection there from the trees. But we do have wind gusts right now, 24 for Idaho Falls, wind gusts at 26 for Blackfoot, wind gusts at 30 for Fort Hall, and we have a wind gust at Tabor, 24-mile-an-hour winds. Back to the Idaho Falls sky cam. Again, we're stuck with this. No moisture out there except for some showers in central Idaho, and this is all thanks to the front that's coming through Montana. I don't expect to get a lot of moisture in there tonight to help out the firefighting situation. We're mostly going to stay windy in the Snake River Plain. Isolated showers pegged to get mostly into the mountains tonight and tomorrow. 59 degrees right now in IF, 61 in Blackfoot and Pocatello, 53 in Jackson with 57 in Salmon. The wind speeds into the teens and 20s again with those wind gusts in many spots into the 20s and 30s. And the winds right now again 24 last check of the wind gusts in Idaho Falls. We're going to have lows back into the mid to lower 30s tonight. And the reason why it's not going to be as cold tonight is because we have all that wind out of the southwest. When I get back with you later in this newscast, we're going to talk about the windy conditions tonight through tomorrow. And then we have stormy weather on the way for this weekend. It's going to get wet Saturday and Sunday. So there could be some saving grace with those rain showers coming through here for Saturday and Sunday. We're going to take a break and we'll be back with more news after this.